Hope.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Art.
Memory.
Lessons.
Expression.
Expression of my journey.
Pride.
Body art.
Invincible.
Rebellious. I wanted a tattoo for many years. I've been seeing from college days, I've been seeing guys with tattoos and long hair and major rock bands and all that. So that's how it started. No real reason.
Doing it at the age I did it at means that if I still want to get it removed, I really am a bit of an idiot because I really thought about it for a long time. And I thought, what do I want? Do I want this? Do I want that? It was something that I thought about for many years. Not like daily, but it would come and go, tattoo, I'd like a tattoo where on my ass, no, what's the point of that? I'll have a cobra coming out of the back like it's in my asshole, no, that's a bit stupid.
I never wanted tattoos. It was one of those things I always said, I don't want something permanent on my body. What if I get bored of it? What if it doesn't turn out right? You have a vision in your head, you have a thought, you have a creative in your head, and the interpretation is different by the artist. So I was hesitant and never was inclined to tattoos.
Originally, I never wanted to get a tattoo. I didn't think it was a good idea. Thinking about the fact that it was a one-time thing and it's going to stay on your body for that long. And my dad had gotten a tattoo like a few months before I started thinking about it in the first place. And it was a dragon on his right arm and it looked like shit. And I knew he'd regret it. I was confident he would regret it and I was really scared that I'd do something and I'd regret it.
I spoke to my parents about getting a tattoo, I think when I was 12 first. And obviously they didn't want me to. Tried again at 15, tried again at 16, didn't work. Finally around the age of 17, I spoke to them and I said that I wanted to get a tattoo one way or the other.
I really wanted a tattoo for multiple reasons. One being that nobody else had one at that point. I wanted to do it. And number two being that it was sort of like tumultuous time for me personally. And I just want to do something to make myself feel better. So I got a tattoo and I got a sun because obviously light and all that crap.
So I got the Celtic sun because that seemed to be a neutral design, looked kind of cool. And it doesn't have any deep meaning to me, but you can always bullshit and pick up chicks by saying, oh, it's light in the darkest of places when you least expect it and crap like that. It just so happened that it matched up with Anirudh's tattoo in a way. I didn't even know him at the time. As in, I knew him in school, but I thought he was an asshole, didn't talk to him for so long. And finally, I found that he had a very similar tattoo and he looked at me and just thought I was an asshole too. But
After I turned 40, I asked my wife, can I get a tattoo done? Of course, I didn't describe the size to her, so had she known, it would have been different.
And I don't know why, maybe middle-age crisis. When I was younger, I used to live with my parents and I shared a bedroom with my sister. And outside the window of our bedroom is this bougainvillea tree, which is gorgeous. And one could tell if the rains are coming, if it was in full bloom. After the rains, it shed all its flowers and then again it would be in full bloom. It was just a gorgeous sight that we took for granted. And about 5 years ago, the tree got sick and they had to cut it down. So in 2012, I don't know what the trigger was, but I decided to get a tattoo. And not once did I have, in my head, had to second guess what the tattoo will be. I knew exactly what I wanted. So I went to the tattoo artist with a Google image of a bougainvillea. And I took the real bougainvillea flower with the same color that was outside my bedroom. And I told him exactly where I wanted it. And that's how this tattoo came about.
I thought this was the most apt tattoo to begin with because the reason being that everyone in my family, everyone's name starts with S. That is me, my younger brother, my mother and my father. So what I thought was getting a Celtic band of this nature which had the letter S all over it, especially on my right forearm because I'm a righty and majority of my work is done with my right, and as everyone knows, your forearm is what does your work most of the times.
It's an ambigram of my parents' names. It reads Anup one way and it reads Rupa the other way. I did it on a whim. I I had a lot to drink one night, popped a couple of questionable pills, designed a tattoo, went and got it done. And the whole thing was probably took 24 hours. I had no idea that I was going to get a tattoo the day before. And it just occurred to me, something triggered it, I don't know. It just occurred to me that it's taken so much effort, so much time to finally get to where I am.
Anyways, Homer came into our lives. He was there for only 2.5 years. Sweetest dog on the planet, like the calmest, mildest dog. Whole bunch of medical problems. So he had IBS, he had a heart problem, he had bronchitis, he had epilepsy. Didn't know dogs could have epilepsy, but yeah, anyways. So after 2.5 years, I had to put him down because he was not well. And yeah, so my friend designed this for me. It's an amigram. It says Homo. But yeah, one of my favorites. That's my favorite.
The thing with this was I always wanted to get a tattoo here because everyone keeps on going on, and I've got some twisted friends who like getting tattoos and piercings for the pain because they find that kinky. But they keep telling me that this is one spot they wouldn't get because it's supposed to be the most painful after just under like your tits. So I thought, fuck it, let's try it out. And it turned out that this wasn't as painful as I thought. Now, since my grandmom passed away in 2013, December, I thought I should get something that would sort of remind me of her. Initially, I thought she was going to be cremated because I think that's one of the things that she thought was a reasonable way to go. At that point, I thought that I would maybe keep a little bit of the ashes and put them in some sort of sealed container, like maybe as a chain around my neck or something, but that didn't work out, so got a tattoo instead. One thing that is good about it is it gets a lot of attention, so that's nice. A lot of people tend to look at it and think, wow, that's kind of nice. But a slightly unfortunate thing that happens a lot is that her initials are BSM, and you knock out the last one, it's BS, you knock out the middle one, it's BM, and like you pop a letter in the middle, it's something weird, and I can't tell you how many jokes I've heard about that. Interesting tattoo though.
So I was turning 25 and I decided that I always wanted a tattoo, and I thought that turning 25 was like a very momentous occasion in my life, which is why I gifted myself my first tattoo, which is a phoenix on my back. And I'd lost my aunt and my dog that same year, and I think phoenix being what it is, the representation of rebirth, I got that, and I have their names in the wings somewhere.
The other tattoo that I have is my brother's birth date on the right side of my chest, which is 12/3/99. And the reason behind me getting this tattoo is that my brother, he's like my confidant. He's the closest person I've ever been to. He's the one person I can go to in my times of me being really down and low. And the reason why the right side of the chest and not the left side of the chest is that people have this common misconception that the heart is on the left side and it's on the right side or something like that, but actually the heart is in the center. But because it's being heavier, it's on the left. So what I decided on doing was getting it on the right so that I can have a counterbalance between the two.
Before I left to go abroad to do my masters, I just figured, mark the occasion again. And I sat and thought about it. What's the thing I was going to miss the most about home? And I said, probably being looked after, which means that leads to parents. What else? So again, it's just that let's mark the occasion. I'm a huge fan of Urdu as a language for anything emotional. I think it's the greatest language in the world if you're trying to convey something emotional to anybody. It's an Urdu proverb that is Valdain Hamesha Zinda, which roughly translates to parents live forever. I came across this proverb in the least likely of places on the wall of a bar at Taj in Lucknow.
It's an eagle, American eagle, and it's got I've written something below it in Latin. Basically it says anima sana in corpore sano, which means a sound mind and a sound body.
This says Savis Tranquillis in Undis, in Latin. It's the motto of an old Spanish king who attempted to sail the seven seas. and the motto means calm amid the raging waters. And there's one quality of mine that I hate. There's one thing that I consistently do in every situation of life I am put into, and that's overthinking. I overthink things, I panic because I find layer upon layer when I look at a single thing. So this kind of reminds me to not overthink. This kind of reminds me to stay calm even if things are going haywire around me. The line is beautiful. The line is beautiful. The line makes a lot of sense. And the idea of having phrases or sentences on my body. Just it makes a lot of sense to me. Song lyrics, things like that, they appeal to me more than anything else. Words appeal to me more than anything else.
I really wanted to preserve that moment, and I figured that the best way to preserve a moment is to preserve it as a tattoo. So I got lyrics to this song that means a lot to me on several fronts. Coming Back to Life by Pink Floyd. I took a heavenly ride through our silence. I knew the moment had begun for killing the past and coming back to life. So, yeah. I have this deep connection with my dad through Floyd. And because of Floyd and from Floyd onwards, we share the same musical taste. And we sort of connect emotionally through music because we both have issues with saying like I love you and all that crap. Fuck that. So we connect emotionally through music, and Floyd's sort of the centerpiece of that. I tend to mark occasions with tattoos because I feel that's the only excuse to get a tattoo, because then you never get sick of it. You know, a lot of people have dragons and lions and tigers and all that crap, and they don't even look at it, you know, because they're so sick of it. But I know I'm never going to get sick of any of my tattoos because, you know, it's a memory.
Most of my friends are, they work in the corporate sector. They all, have like big fancy houses. They're married. They have kids. I am none of the above. And I feel that's fine. Once you reach like 28 onwards, almost every friend starts getting married. And now the single friends I have are fewer in number compared to the married friends I have. And I felt like, a lot of people will be like, oh, when you're getting married, and there's a lot of pressure. And I think most of them is like, my tattoos to me at least mean like, it's fine. You're exactly where you're supposed to be in your life right now. You can't compare yourself to anyone else around you. And that's okay.
I've always loved the idea of having small tattoos. Subtle tattoos. Not massive tattoos that call for attention. Because that's not why the art exists. The art exists for beauty. Not to be catchy.
One of the scripts I gave the guy was that it should not cross my sleeve line. So I was very clear about that. And the only change in my life after this is that on Saturdays I used to wear half sleeve shirts to work. Now I don't anymore. I can't. I think especially, I don't know, in India, people perceive tattoos as, I don't know, somebody being wild or, taboo or not being responsible, or I don't know, those kind of things. So I was very clear about that it should not cross the sleeve line.
I mean, everyone used to say don't get one where everyone can see it. I mean, it's on your hand every time you go to shake someone's hand, it's going to be there. You can't cover that up with a sleeve. You're going to have to wear a glove all your life, and who wants to look like Michael Jackson? I have to say this, I've never had anyone judge me or discriminate against me because I've had this tattoo on my hand.
If it's a shock to them, which can happen of course, it can contribute to a bad scenario for you. I'm not saying it's right. I do not believe it's right. If a person who has tattoos up to his wrists and up to his neck can be the most talented anything out there, and if he's refused a job based on his appearance, then that's disgusting. I mean, but ultimately it's a person's body, so they can do whatever the hell they want.
I know it's unorthodox for a filmmaker to appear in his own or her own film, and considering this is a film on tattoos and the stories behind them, I should have tattoos, but I don't. I don't have a single tattoo yet. When I was 14, I wanted three things: to dye my hair blue, to get an eyebrow piercing, and to get a tattoo. At the moment, I have neither of those three things. Now, I think, when I think about it now, it's a good thing the hair and the eyebrow idea died out, but in my opinion, but still obsessed with tattoos. And I think the only reason I don't have one is because I haven't found the thing or things that I want on my body for the rest of my life. And I know I will eventually find it. I will eventually know what I want. But until then, I'm not going to get a tattoo until I'm completely sure. People get tattoos for different reasons. And sometimes we get tattoos spontaneously because you're feeling a certain way at that point of time, but that feeling could change over a couple of days, over weeks, over months, over years. Tattoos, I think, are meant to be permanent. You can get it removed with laser and yeah, it'll leave a scar, but the tattoo's gone or whatever. But if you're going to get a tattoo, get it because it's going to be permanent. As long as it's not offensive in certain cultures. I mean, for example, getting the swastika would mean a death sentence in Germany. But the swastika it's a symbol of Hinduism here in India. So you have to be careful what you get. You have to do your research and see that it's not offensive in any culture. So to summarize this entire film, I'd like to say, and I think this is the inspiration for the film's title, tattoos are not taboo. What I get on my body is up to me. It's like wearing clothes. You wear a t-shirt and you wear jeans and sneakers and you go out, people are going to look at you a certain way. And you wear a shirt and trousers and a jacket and formal shoes and a tie, and people are going to look at you a different way. So that's it. That's it. Tattoos are an expression of who you are and what you want the world to perceive you as. And some people get tattoos because they want to get attention. Some people do it because they feel strongly about their tattoos, and that's up to them. So I'm going to go and I'm going to find that one thing or multiple things that obsess me so that I can find the tattoo or tattoos that I want on my body for the rest of my life.